I always find that violent exercise makes me hungry. Don't you agree?
So enjoy your meal, Doctor.
Well, hello and welcome back to the Shallow Proclamation with myself, Thomas, and as always, I'm joined by my good pal,
Paul.
I don't know why it's always so funny to hear the word Paul directly after
pal.
So, Sea Devils, episode 2.
You know the writer Malcolm Hulke?
Yes.
Wouldn't like him when he's angry.
It's coming towards us.
You seen that Stuart Lee sketch about the film director Ang Lee?
I don't think I have.
He does this bit where he's like, "Don't make me Ang Lee. You won't like me when I'm Ang Lee."
It's interesting that he names it Sea Devil. Oh, that's nice.
That's very cool.
And well lit.
Yeah.
Still not giving too much away.
That was nice.
I love the way that reaction of the Sea Devil's like,
Hello. What's it wearing?
well, they realised quite late in the day, I think, that they looked very odd naked. So they decided to clothe them in some sort of fishing net type stuff.
Clever.
This is Oscar Bravo Tango 7-4.
Bravo!
We are stranded on this fort and have a wounded man here. Can you send immediate assistance? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Over.
Doctor, you don't think you'll get through to anybody on that old lash-up, do you?
Hello, Oscar Bravo Tango. I'm receiving you loud and clear.
Oscar Bravo Tango.
So well spoken.
That's a remarkably efficient piece of work. I always find that violent exercise makes me hungry. Don't you agree?
So enjoy your meal, Doctor.
You're a good doctor, but you're not good enough.
Oh, you haven't seen the quality of my footwork yet. How many times have I told you? Violence will never get you anywhere.
Oh.
Solid cliffhanger.
Great
Solid.
cliffhanger. How many times have I told you violence will not get you anywhere? And then he throws the dagger.
Very effectively done as well. Sort of a little bit of a kind of swipe across the, the camera sort of zooms across, doesn't it?
Yeah,
almost
it kind of
follow
looked
the
slow
knife.
mo, didn't it?
Yeah.
As the master got up. Yeah, that was really nice.
So what do you make of that? Episode 2.
Good fun. Well, we got to see the Sea Devils a bit more properly. It was interesting that they were in those kind of bright blue nets, as you say.
Yeah, I think, like I said, originally they didn't have those costumes. They'd had them, but then they were like, oh, they look a bit sort of weird. They were a bit naked, and so the lady who was in charge of the costume had to rush out and buy sort of 500 meters of netting or something to fashion all these things from.
Yes.
So, or 500 yards or whatever.
I thought that was nicely done. Has the master got out, or hasn't he? And that whole kind of intrigue. Joe's like, I'm certain I saw him. And yeah, just the sense that the master is a few steps ahead, but then the doctor has kind of now playing him at his own game, isn't he? The way he's so chilled during that sword fight and like taking a bite out of the sandwich, and kind of you can see the master's getting rattled by it because the doctor just seems kind of unfazed at this point.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, I know what you're doing. Your tricks aren't working on me, buddy. So that was probably my highlight, that sort of fight when he just starts, all this violent exercise makes me peckish.
Just digs into a sandwich. Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think again that's probably one of those scenes that is almost like become a classic thing in itself. The Doctor and the Master having a sword fight. Not sure why they keep swords on the wall in a prison, but
Period piece.
Exactly. But yeah, it's just a great little scene, and it seems it feels like appropriate for them as well, doesn't it? Almost sort of gentlemanly.
Yes,
Fencing with their rapiers, that kind of thing. Yeah, the duel. And then, of course, like the humour of it as well, like you say, the Doctor just tucking into a sandwich, followed up by the great cliffhanger with the Master throwing this knife, which, there's it's a nice kind of stark contrast, isn't it, to the gentlemanliness of the kind of duel and the fencing, to this kind of brutality of a knife thrown while someone's back is turned. So that's very effectively done, I think. Yeah, and I think, again, just like you say, seeing the Sea Devil, that's been great. We mentioned the use of the setting of the fort and stuff, and I think the guy, the Jabba the Hutt, plays traumatized workman very well. Really sells it that he's seen something that has petrified him, and obviously having seen his friend killed as well. But then I think there's just little moments of nice humour as well. So when the Doctor had made that transmitter out of the receiver, and then he's like, really pleased with it, and then it just blows up in his hand.
His face is perfect.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all played so well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it just feels like it's just feeling really good at the moment. Really, really good story. Really well done. So.
Yeah, it does feel like the show has found a real groove with this Doctor, Companion, Master. Yeah, it's doing well.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair to say. And a lot of people will say that at least partway through the Pertwee era, if not from the beginning of it, through sort of into Tom Baker's years, that many people would look at it as sort of the golden age of the show, really, at least in the classic era.
Interesting.
So, but each to their own. That's not to say there isn't, obviously we've seen all the stuff before that as well, and there's been some great stuff in there, and there'll be great stuff after that as well. But
that's good to know.
Yeah, it's all downhill.
Yeah.
But there is something, as you say, about the Pertwee era where it has found a groove that kind of works.
Yeah, it just seems to be consistently impressive, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's something people say as well. There's a consistency to it, even if sometimes it's not always phenomenal.
Yeah,
very rarely if you think back now, we're kind of almost 2.5 seasons into the Pertwee era. Probably, for me at least, I'd say the weakest story we've had is Colony in Space.
Yeah.
And again, though, they're not terrible stories. They're just, and maybe they'd be thought of better if they weren't surrounded by such good stuff as well. I don't know.
When was the last really bad story we had?
Space
Pirates.
Space Pirates, Space Babies. That's must be something about that title. Space Pirates, Space Babies.
Colony in Space.
Colony in Space, yeah. But then we had Spearhead from Space, so
That's true.
Fair's fair.
Yeah.
But no, as you say, there is a consistency to it, and there is something about the Doctor and Joe as a companion team that, particularly this season, I think are finding their feet in a way that the first season they had together, perhaps we didn't quite feel as much. So it's really nice to see that.
Some great companionship, and this time it is almost on a ship.
Exactly, companions
fortress.
And ships.
Yes. Yeah. No, brilliant. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Let us know what you've been thinking of this, and do join our Discord community, link in the description below, and check out our Patreon for full commentary tracks, so you can listen to us as you watch classic Doctor Who again. And thanks for watching. Goodbye.
See you, everyone.